Let's close our eyes and lengthen through the spine. Let the crown of the head lift towards the ceiling and the chin is pressed back like a soldier at attention, and the shoulders are relaxed and down. The shoulder blades move down your back as the chest gently rises. The diaphragm is relaxed and the hips are relaxed, and the breath becomes long, slow, and deep. And as the breath slows down, the mind slows down and the focus turns inward. We prepare for this journey today by setting an intention. And that intention can be around compassion for self today. I really feel that when we can turn compassion onto ourselves, then we are more able to turn it onto others, direct it outwards. So we'll anchor our intention in with the words Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. And they mean infinite creative consciousness, I call on you. Divine wisdom within, I call on you. Let's rub our hands together and the thumbs come pressed into the sternum. Inhaling deeply. Exhaling completely. And inhale to tune in. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. Inhale, suspend the breath, mentally vibrate Om Namo Guru Dev Namo within your being, and exhale. Before we kind of move into more of a stillness with some poses, I just kind of want us to warm up the body. And we'll warm up the spine by doing some Sufi grinds. So being in your cross-legged positions, hands on the knees, we're going to just grind around in a circle. We're going to inhale at the top of the circle and exhale at the bottom of the circle. So when you come to the top of the circle is where your knees are, your shins are. You're going to lift the chest up. And then as you come around to the back, you're just going to kind of cave that chest in. So just going at whatever pace is appropriate for you today. We're just warming up the spine, grounding our energy. Just feeling connected to our breath and our body. And now let's reverse direction. Notice if your jaw is tight and just relax it or soften it. The rooster is saying, wake up, wake up. Almost there. And now inhale to center. And let's switch the cross of our legs. We're going to grab a hold of our shins and begin to flex our spine. I'll show you this from the side. I'm going to bring our chest forward to the top of our shins. On the inhale, lifting our chest, and exhale, caving it in. Inhaling forward, exhaling back. Continuing to warm up the spine here, opening up that lower back. Letting the breath power the motion. And just close your eyes once you get a hang of what we're doing here, and just be in your body. Don't let your open eyes distract you from being very internally focused right now. Bringing your hands to your knees, continuing to flex here. Opening up the heart, opening up the mid-spine. Now inhale to center and exhale. Relax the breath. We're going to interlace our hands behind our head. We're going to open up our elbows. So press our elbows towards the wall behind you. Lift the chest. This is your inhale. You can feel your shoulder blades move towards each other. And then your exhale is you're going to bring your chin to your chest and the elbows move towards each other. And then you're just going to lift back up on the inhale and exhale back down. So we're working on the top of the spine now. Just continuing to warm up the body. We'll slow it down in a little bit. Now inhale back up and exhale. Release the hands out to the sides of the body. Bringing your right arm up. Doesn't matter if you do the other side first. Going to inhale and exhale, leaning over to the other side here, stretching those fingertips away from the body, keeping both sit bones on the floor, and then leaning forward just a smidgen, just to deepen the stretch into that right hip. Deep, deep breaths. And then release back down, left arm up. And exhale to the right, stretching those fingertips away from the body, both sit bones on the floor, leaning forward just a smidgen. Deep, deep breaths. And then release back down. We're going to bring the legs out in front of us. Arms parallel to the legs. Lift the chest up high, and your heels are pressed away, toes pointed back. But if that does not feel comfortable, you can soften the top of your feet. Arms parallel. We're going to inhale back using our core strength to pull back, and then exhale forward. So imagine you are pulling a rope back, and then it's pulling you forward. We're just getting the backs of the legs nice and lengthened here. Keeping that chest lifted. Softening the jaw. Oftentimes when we work a little bit more hard, we tend to tighten the jaw. It doesn't really help us do better, but I think it's a habit. It's a habit for me to tighten the jaw whenever I'm doing something that might be a little bit more challenging or a little bit more uncomfortable. Inhale up and exhale. Lean back on your hands here. Soften the tops of those thighs. You can just cradle your head in the shoulder, into your shoulder girdle there. Just cradle your head in between your shoulders is what I'm trying to say. And then just relax here. And then just very slowly lift your head back up and engage your abdominals to lift yourself back up the rest of the way. If you're like me and you're not very, very bendy in forward folds, you might want to put a cushion or a folded blanket underneath your bum. And then we're going to bring our legs back out in front of us again. And we're going to, there's one of two ways we're going to hold this pose for a little bit longer. We can hold it very actively, which is heels are pressed away, toes pointed back as you hinge from the hips, lengthen forward and down and grab whatever you can grab a hold of. Or everything can be soft. The feet can be soft. The backs of the legs are soft. And you're just kind of more rounding down into it. Whatever is going to be appropriate for you, we're going to hold this about 2 minutes. I want you to close your eyes, get in the pose here, and I want you to just kind of observe your body. Are you holding things tightly? So I've discovered for myself that there's 2 reasons that I'm holding my body tightly. One of them is resistance. There might be something that I'm resisting in my life that's showing up in my body. Oftentimes, the backs of the legs are very, very tight for me. And the backs of the legs are often fear, right? Whenever we have tight backs of the legs, it can be related to fear. It can also be related to just too much inactivity or too much sitting as well. But oftentimes tightness in the back of the legs and in the glutes are due to fear of not feeling safe. And the other reason I told you earlier was because I am judging myself. Or if I'm judging another, I'm also holding myself very tightly too, very rigidly. So just kind of observe where those tight spaces are and just soften them. You know, for me, I realized this morning that I could soften my thoughts. And so think about softening your thoughts, softening your judgment, holding compassion for yourself. I think also acceptance goes hand in hand with that word compassion. Because what is the opposite of judgment? It's acceptance, right? Okay, now slowly round up. Just again, tuck that chin into the chest, pull the navel into the spine, and just slowly lift yourself up. And then we're going to do a one-legged. So we're going to take the right foot into the left thigh And again, you're going to fold forward and down with either, if you're going to do this actively, heels pressed away, toes pointed back, lead with the heart as you hinge from the hips and lengthen down. If you're doing this passively, you're just going to soften the top of the foot and just kind of round down. Okay, so however you are in it, that doesn't matter, just personal preference. And then once again, kind of observe what's going on in the body. Now, if you are holding the top of that thigh tightly, observe whether there's tension in the belly. And if you soften the belly, does the thigh soften? And again, I find myself, there's a lot of self-judgment, about my belly and then in my belly, right? That's where it's kind of stored. So giving myself permission to just soften that belly. Oh my God, that's a scary thing to soften your belly as a female. I don't know if males have the same experience, but we're already feeling like we're judged for having soft bellies. And then I'm asking you to soften your belly even more. What comes up whenever you hear me say that, soften your belly? For me, there's almost this panic. It's like, oh my God, I can't soften my belly. People are going to see that I have a belly, right? So I don't know if any of this relates at all to you today, but this is what came up for me. Just if you are in this posture actively, see if you can go a little deeper into the pose. Again, soften the belly and see if the leg, the top of the thigh and the back of the leg softens at all. And when you soften your belly, what does that bring up in you? Can you have compassion for your body, for where it is at right now, in this moment, in sickness or in health? Isn't that what they say at a marriage ceremony traditionally, in sickness and in health? You know, if we think about the sacred marriage between our body, mind, and our spirit. Slowly round up now, using your hands to lift you, using that core strength to lift you, chin tucked into the chest as you slowly come up. And then we're going to do the other side. Right leg out, left thigh or left foot into the right thigh, and just do the same thing that you did on the other side on this side. So if you are in active or passively in it, do the same thing. No matter how you are in it, I want you to soften the belly. Is it easier this time to soften the belly? And does that soften the leg? Deep, deep breaths. Can you have compassion for your body exactly where it's at, again, in sickness or in health? I know that we have various stages of wellness in the group today. So wherever you're at, can you accept yourself exactly where you're at? Body, mind, and spirit. Can you have that compassion for yourself, for your body? Even if your thinking is a little negative or judgmental, can you have compassion for that part of you that is negative? Can you have compassion for that part of you that is judgmental? And can you soften those thoughts? Try to go a little deeper into the posture if you're holding it actively. Now, slowly round up, Release the stretch. Use your hands to lift you up. Pull the navel in towards the spine. Tuck the chin into the chest and slowly round up. Okay, let's come moving forward. Moving forward. No, just do what I'm going to do. Don't listen to me. Bring the bottoms of your feet together. Now you can listen to me because now my brain's firing. Bring the bottoms of your feet together. And if you can, you're going to grab a hold of the tops of your feet. There's a couple of ways to do this. If you want to do it very softly, you can just kind of round down into it. If you want to do this very actively, you can again lengthen forward and down into it, whatever is going to feel appropriate for you today. If you need to hold yourself up with your hands, do that. If you can bring your forehead towards your feet, do that. Wherever you're at is absolutely perfect today. And then just notice where maybe you're holding the lower back tightly. If there's tension in the knee, you can move your feet a little further away, and that should relieve some of the tension in the knee and the low back. Deep, deep breaths. Can you soften the belly? And if you can soften the belly, does that automatically bring you deeper into the pose? For me, when my belly is tight, it's because I'm judging the quality of my belly. Every single time, I'm judging myself. Can you soften your belly? And can that bring you deeper into the pose? Can you bring compassion, acceptance, love into your body right now? Soften the belly. Now, using your hands to support you, lifting yourself up. Now I want you to engage those abdominals. Now you can pull that navel in towards the spine, chin to the chest as you slowly round up. Bring the legs together, shake them out. Maybe even just massage the outsides of them here, the hips. Some of you might not have any problem with me saying soften the belly, but I'm just really very aware of all of the stuff that's coming up for me that I didn't know was still there. It's always fascinating whenever you think you're done, right? Let's open our legs nice and wide. And again, you can do this very actively or very passively. If you want to do this very actively, your heels are pressed away with the toes pointed back. If you want to do this passively, soften those feet. Your hands can just walk out in front of you. If you're like me and not very bendy this way, you can cross your arms over and just let gravity do the work. Again, think about compassion for your body. Soften the belly, soften the glutes. Soften the mind. Is there any resistance in the back of the legs or the low back? And if there is, what are you resisting today? Are you resisting being in the present moment? Are you resisting breathing deeply into your body? My first yoga teacher told me you cannot hold fear in your body and breathe long, slow, and deep at the same time. Fear is a shallow breath. You may notice that if you are not being present, you're not breathing well either. You're not breathing deeply. It's one of the things that I've been discovering lately is that whenever I am in the future or in the past, I'm holding my breath often. Now, if your hands are crossed, you can go ahead and press them down, lifting yourself up. Pull the navel in towards the spine to help lift yourself up. Bring your hands behind your knees and bring those legs in. Well done. Let's come onto our hands and our knees. The knees are hip width apart. The palms of the hands are underneath the shoulders. Inhale, the head comes up, the belly comes down. Exhale, chin to the chest as we press away from the palms of the hands. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Visualize that breath on the inhale, coming in through the top of the head, moving all the way down to the tailbone, and then exhaling out through the tailbone. Inhaling all the way down into the tailbone from the top of the spine, exhaling out the tailbone. Inhaling up, exhaling down now. Now inhale back to center. Exhale, shift the hips to the right as the head turns left. Inhale back to center. Exhale, shift the hips to the left as the head turns right. Beautiful. Come back to center. I want you to come back onto your heels and stretch, forehead to the floor. Then I want you to walk your fingertips towards the top of your mat. Just really stretching those armpits. Taking some deep, deep breaths here. Now, keeping your hands where they are, I want you to pull that navel in towards the spine as you move forward into upward facing dog. And as you come up, the shoulders are down away from the ears, the head gently comes back. This is your inhale. Exhale, pull that navel in towards the spine as you pull yourself back onto your heels. We're just going to do this a few times. Inhaling forward into upward facing dog, taking as much time as you need. And exhaling, pulling that navel back towards the spine as you pull yourself back onto your heels. Inhaling forward. Exhaling back. Once again, moving forward into upward facing dog. And then we're just going to drop back or drop down onto our forearms into Sphinx Pose. I want you to just relax your belly, relax your glutes, and put your awareness on this small of your back. If there's any tension there, bring your breath there to see if you can soften that space. That still doesn't work. I want you to move your hands a little bit further forward, and that should help relieve any tension on the low back. Now, this small of the back area is often where we have a lot of pain. And that often has to do with not feeling supported in our life. So just bring the prana there, the breath there, the breath of life to that lower part of your back. You can do it all the way into your tailbone, into your glutes. Again, softening the glutes, feeling yourself sending love and compassion and acceptance to that lower part of your body. And see if that helps you make you feel safe. Lower part of our body, whenever we have dis-ease or resistance or tension or pain or discomfort in that part of our body, it is often due because there is a part of us that does not feel safe. And up a little bit higher in the small of the back there, it's about support, not feeling supported. So bring the breath into those lower parts of the body. Now slowly lower yourself down. And once again, let's bring our hands beside our rib cage and pull our navel in towards the spine as we come back onto our heels and stretch. Now imagine that you have a dragon's tail attached to your tailbone, and you're just going to swish that big tail from side to side. This will release any tension that may have been created from the previous pose, from the Sphinx pose. I often get a little tension there as there's a lot of resistance back there for me. And so I have to really give it some special extra attention whenever I come out of the pose. It's hard work moving through resistance. Now coming back to center, you can stack your hands on top of each other or your fists on top of each other. Bring your forehead to the floor, or just rest your forehead right on the floor and just relax. Let everything soften. Let the breath be deep. Notice the mind naturally quiets whenever you bring your forehead to the floor like this. The breath just organically deepens. Whenever we have our heart above our head in this manner, it's easy for us. It's easier for us to quiet down, to find our stillness. Relaxing even more. Now very gently lift yourself up and come onto your back. And we're going to grab a hold of our knees and just wrap our arms around our knees here. And just let the hands do the work and let that low back release. This is so great for resting the heart. Relaxing the digestion. Relaxing even more. Now let's straighten this right leg out onto the mat. And we're going to take this left knee, squeeze it into the chest, using our right hand, draw that left knee over the right side of the body. You can look straight up or turn your head over to the left. This left hand can be straight out in a T or a Y shape or right above your head, whichever is going to be most appropriate for you today. Take some deep breaths. Let this right hand do the work of holding your knee in place. Your knee does not need to touch the floor. It can just be, use the hand just to weight it down so that you can twist here. Relax everything but that hand. Relax the glutes, relax that hip, relax the belly. Now release back to center. Put both feet flat on the floor. And you're just going to do some pelvic tilts here. Press the top of the hips up towards the top of the thighs, and then flatten the back as that tilts the pelvis in the opposite direction. This is really good for just releasing any kinks that may have occurred from that twist. Okay, and then we're going to do the opposite side. So you're going to take the right knee, squeeze it into the chest using your left hand, draw that right knee over the left side of the body. Turn your head over your right shoulder or looking straight up. This right hand can be out to the side, in a T, in a Y, or right above the head. You decide what's appropriate for you today. And then just relax everything. Let that left hand do the work of just holding everything in place. See, this is actually a very challenging pose for me because my hip, I just want to automatically tighten my hips. And hips are related to emotions. Hips are related to the second chakra. Hips are about moving forward with grace and ease. And so what's the opposite of moving forward with grace and ease? Wanting to control everything in your life. So if you are like me and want to control everything in your life, you might have some hip issues. So just breathe and relax to the best of your ability. Now come back to center. And again, do those pelvic tilts forward and back. Just a couple here, just to release any tension. And then I want you to, again, bring your knees into the air. Take your hands to the outside of the knees, and you're just going, or actually put them on the inside of your knees. I'm going to show you this from this way. And just let gravity do the work of just bringing that nice open thighs. Another way of doing this might be a little bit more challenging, but you can bring your feet straight up and take your hands on the outside of the thighs and then press the knees towards your elbows and see if that feels any different. Keep that lower back pressed to the mat. So either way, you can do it from the inside of the knees here, which I kind of like better, or the outsides of the feet. Now slowly release. Come down onto your mat. And we're going to do one last thing. So bring the knees into the air. Take the right ankle over the left knee. Interlace your fingers around that left knee and gently bring that left knee into the chest. You can press the toes back towards your knees and that'll deepen the stretch. But if that's not going to feel good, then just soften those feet. Feel a stretch on the right hip here. Release that stretch. Let's do the other side. Left ankle over right knee. Gently bring that right knee into the chest. Press those toes back if that's appropriate for you today. And go ahead and release. And let's stretch from end to end here. Taking your hands above your head, pointing your toes away from the body. And I like just kind of undulate like a snake, just kind of shifting my hips from side to side. And then release into your Shavasana, your relaxation pose, whatever that looks like for you, whether it's on your back in corpse pose, whether it's your feet up, on your side, in child's pose, whatever is right for you today. And just allow yourself to relax and let go. Allowing yourself to just bring some love, some acceptance, compassion into your body, into your mind. And sometimes that act of compassion for ourselves is challenging. So act as if. Fake it till you make it. Allowing yourself to soften and deepen. Relaxing more deeply into the mat. Notice if there's any little tiny muscles that are still holding on tightly and soften them. And soften even more. Notice if you are holding your glutes tightly or your lower back or your belly. Are you holding the area behind your heart tightly? And if you are, soften the area behind your heart. Are your shoulders relaxed? Is your jaw soft? Is the lines in your forehead softened? And the scalp of your head soft? Become aware of your breath now, of the inhale and of the exhale. Wiggle your fingers and your toes to wake up your nervous system. Take a long stretch over top of your head, pointing your toes away from the body as you lengthen through the spine. Release that stretch, roll over onto one side of your body as you hug your knees into your chest. And for this moment in time, imagine that you are being embraced by the divine. Know that you are loved, cherished, cared for, and adored. Receive this. Claim this truth for yourself. Gently pressing yourself up into a comfortable seated position. And we will do our meditation for compassion. It's called Karuna Mudra. It cultivates compassion toward ourselves and on all beings. It supports the health of the cardiorespiratory and immune systems. It relaxes the muscles of the chest, thereby helping to reduce stress. And it relaxes the muscles of the face and jaw, which may be helpful for TMJ dysfunction. It's for the heart chakra as well. It balances all of the doshas. So we're going to gently cup the left hand and hold it with the palm facing the heart. We're going to cup the right hand and place the fingertips of the left hand at the base of the fingertips of the right hand. So right down there. And the thumbs are going to be lined up. So this left thumb is going to be right at the joint of the right thumb. We're going to relax. And so it's just going to be like holding it like this, just right in front like this. The shoulders are relaxed and down with the spine naturally aligned. And you're going to just bring it up towards the heart just a little bit. There you go. Close the eyes. As you hold Karuna Mudra, take several natural breaths to attune to all the feelings and sensations awakened by this gesture. Notice how your breath is gently directed into your chest, instilling calm and serenity that unfolds from deep within your heart center naturally. As you attune to your heart, you gradually develop the sensitivity that allows you to embrace yourself, life, and all other beings compassionately. Take several breaths to reflect on the extent to which you are able to offer compassion to yourself by acknowledging that all of your actions were ultimately in an attempt to find the love, support, and security that are the essence of your true being. Attuning deeply to your heart center, offer compassion to yourself, honoring your journey wholeheartedly, dissolving all self-judgment, shame, and guilt naturally. As you embrace yourself compassionately, you naturally enhance your ability to offer loving kindness to those you care for deeply, embracing both their positive and challenging qualities. Bring into your heart the image of someone you care for deeply, releasing any expectations of how they should be, creating a space of openness in which their transformation and yours can occur more easily. As you offer compassion to yourself and to those you care for deeply, you gradually develop the ability to offer compassion to those with whom you experience separation or difficulty. Bring into your heart the image of someone you find challenging, perceiving their authentic being rather than focusing on their actions and beliefs. As you hold this person within your heart of compassion, clearly see that all of their actions are based on a need for love, support, and security, even if those needs are expressed inappropriately. By seeing this person compassionately, your feelings of judgment, anger, and resentment are released more easily, allowing you to see this person and yourself more objectively, while creating safe and appropriate boundaries. Now open your heart of compassion to all beings, honoring each person's journey, recognizing that all of us are moving within the limits of our understanding toward a vision of unity. Affirm your growing compassion, repeating the following 3 times aloud or silently after me. With a heart of compassion, I clearly see that we all share a journey toward unity. With a heart of compassion, I clearly see that we all share a journey toward unity. With a heart of compassion, I clearly see that we all share a journey toward unity. Now, slowly release the gesture, taking several breaths to rest within your heart of compassion. And when you are ready, open your eyes, returning slowly and gently, sensing your heart of compassion guiding your journey. Now, bringing your hands together into a prayer, we will end class. We'll inhale deeply, suspend the breath, and on the exhale, send a blessing to yourself. Inhaling deeply, suspend the breath, and on the exhale, send a blessing to someone in need. Inhaling deeply, suspend the breath, visualize the world as a place of peace, and exhale that out into the world. We will end with a long sat and a short nam. Inhale. Sat nam. Bringing your forehead towards the floor, bowing to the light within yourself. Sat nam. Thank you.